Okay, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever found yourself bored with someone with about 10 minutes to kill? Sure you have. And if you happen to not have your mobile device with you and maybe the Wi-Fi is down, you're not near a Wi-Fi hotspot, you're really truly screwed, aren't you now? Arrgh! Things can get pretty tedious pretty quickly. What can you do to fill that void? Well, thankfully there are options. You can think about having a little sleep. Yeah, that's a good way to pass the time, isn't it? Everyone loves sleeping, don't they? Another option, cannibalism. And I don't really want to condone it, but it's certainly an option, isn't it? The third option, the best option, is to play Dots and Boxes. What's Dots and Boxes, I hear you say? How do you play it? What do you need? It's very simple. In actual fact, all you need is a minimum of 2 people. You need a piece of paper and you need a pen. Sure, you can get hold of those things, right? Well, if you can, you're in business. How do you play it? Let's find out. So, as I said, you need 2 people to play this game. I've set up a screen here to demonstrate how it works. So in this fictional example, we've got Nigel playing against Celia. Nigel will be using a blue pen and Celia will be using a red pen. However, in actual fact, it doesn't really matter. You can both use the same pen, you can just keep swapping. And first of all, you need to decide how big a grid you want to use, because the object of this game is to take it in turns to draw lines down the sides of this grid. You need to try and be the person that finishes a square by completing that 4th edge to a box. Once you do that, that's yours. You've claimed that square. I will show you how this works. So in this example, Nigel and Claire agree on using a grid that's 3 by 3, a nice short game to start with. Nice and easy. So I'm basically going to just kind of draw around so you can see the general gist here. We're talking about this play area right here. Now they will take it in turns. Maybe they could toss a coin to see who goes first, and Celia wins. She calls tails and it is tails. So Celia goes first and she puts a line right there. She passes the pen to Nigel and he decides to draw a line there. Can you see how this is working? It's back to Celia. Celia's go. Celia does this. Remember, the object of this game, if possible, is not to do the 3rd line, because when you do the 3rd line of a box, you're basically setting up for your opponent to then complete the box with the 4th line and they can claim the box. So let's keep going with this and see where it goes. It's Nigel's turn. Nigel decides to draw there. Celia decides to draw a line here. So these 2 players have got some strategy about them. They're basically trying not to do that 3rd line, and that's fine, that's great, but it can only go on for so long. It's Nigel's turn. He draws a line there. Celia decides to draw a line here. It's back to Nigel. Nigel draws a line here. This goes on for some time until one person's hand is forced. So let's just imagine that. Nigel, at this point, makes a mistake. There are other places he could go. For example, he could go here, and that's a safe move. But Nigel doesn't realise that, and instead, he puts a line there. Oh no, that's a bit of a nightmare, because it's Celia's go. She's spotted the folly. She completes that box, and at that point then she's able to claim it and she can put a C for Celia in the box. It's hers. Celia has got 1 on the board. Back to Nigel. He's in a bit of a sweat now because he's just realised that was a stupid mistake. So he carries on. He puts 1 there. And so on. Can you see how this game now continues? And basically, the object of the game is not to allow your opponent to have more scores than you by completing boxes. Now she's made a mistake because Nigel is able to claim that box, but Celia is not going to go home empty-handed there because she can then claim this box, and it's kind of set up a chain of events where various boxes can be completed. Now if you look this game up on the internet, it's also called Dots and Boxes, it's called Game of Dots, it's got some other names, but I think the most common title is Dots and Boxes. There's lots about it. It's actually a very simple game, but you can imagine scaling this up. So yes, of course, you can scale this game up, you know, and you could go for a much bigger grid area. Now what this does is the game is longer and it's more complex. It's actually more difficult as well because I think there's more strategy involved. Because it goes on for longer until you get to that point where people are being forced to do that 3rd line. So it's really good fun. So play it with a small box if you've never done it before, just to get the feel of it, maybe 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 like I did, and then start scaling it up. Also, you can maybe play this with more than 2 people, you just keep passing the pen around. I've never tried that, but that would be fun, wouldn't it? Something else to experiment with. Anyway, that's how you play Dots and Boxes. So have a go. It's good fun, and it does not require Wi-Fi.